Welcome friends to One Stop Java Solutions. I am Snehasis and today I am going to explain you two important features of Java, that is auto boxing and auto unboxing. Okay, so in my previous videos, basically I already covered lost means core Java basic concept. Okay, so today I will going to explain the auto boxing and auto unboxing. Okay, so auto boxing basically is the process. Okay, so where a primitive type is automatically encapsulated. Okay, boxing means basically encapsulated or boxed. Okay, into the equivalent type wrapper. Okay, so that is the auto boxing. Whenever an object of that type is needed, so we can using the auto boxing, we can do it. So I am showing you how to do the auto boxing. So here I already have YouTube demo project. Okay, go to src. Here you can see I already created one package. So here I am creating one class. Okay, and giving the class name. So right click on it, go to new and then click on class and giving class name should start with capital letter. Auto boxing, auto boxing, unboxing, auto boxing, unboxing demo. Okay, so here we will follow the camel case concept. Okay, so here you can see that means each letter, the first word should be capital. Okay, so auto, then box B is capital, boxing and unboxing, for unboxing U is capital and demo D is capital. Okay, so camel case letter, and I am here clicking on the main this method public static void main. So I am clicking on this checkbox so that it will automatically create the main method as well. Okay, so it will create the class and as well as main method. Okay, so now I am showing you basically the what is auto boxing. Okay, so auto boxing basically is the process that I just told, that by which a primitive type is automatically encapsulated or boxed into a equivalent type wrapper. Okay, whenever an object of that type is needed. Suppose primitive type means, suppose int x equal to 10. So here int is an primitive type. So int, float, double, these are the primitive type. Okay, so int x equal to 10. So here this is not an object, it is a primitive type. Okay, the object of integer class is capital integer. If we write integer integer, so this is the means class. Integer in Java, integer is a class, and while we are creating an integer like this way, suppose if I create integer I equal to new integer, and I am passing the values 10. Okay, so here integer is a class. Okay, so we open the declaration. Here you can see that public final class integer extend number. So this integer class extend the number and implements comparable. Okay, so this interface it's implement and extend the this number class. Okay, and this is the class integer. So here basically in Java we are creating object using the new keyword. Okay, so integer I equal to new integer 10. So in that case we are creating an object of integer class. Okay, and giving the name as I and storing passing the values 10. Okay, so and in that object basically we are pointing that value 10. Okay, using this object I. Okay, but here int x equal to 10, this is a primitive. Okay, so here the value of x is 10. This is a variable basically, not an object. Okay, So using auto boxing, what we can do, we can create, so this is integer, this integer is a wrapper class and this is a primitive class. So whenever required an object of integer, what we will do in Java, we can easily do like this way. Suppose if we write integer, copy. So this is one method, and integer, suppose I am giving int object, okay, int object equal to 10. So that will also correct here. So here you can see we are just, this is a reference, int object is a reference of integer class, and we are not creating any object, because in Java, once you have to, if you have to create any object, then you have to call the new, like this way, new integer means constructor of this class with the parameters whatever it will support. Okay, so like this way you have to create the object, but here what we are doing, we are just giving, means passing the primitive data type, or here also you can, instead of x you can pass, because I int is a primitive type, int x equal to 10, so here you can directly pass x as well. Okay, so that is also correct. So in an object reference, integer class reference or object reference, I am storing some primitive value. So how it will possible? So basically Java internally convert this primitive type to integer object and store in the integer reference, okay, class reference or object reference. Okay, so this is the auto boxing. Okay, so it is automatically done. Okay, so there is no need to explicitly construct an object. Here we are not explicitly construct any object. Here we are, in this line we are creating, explicitly creating object, new integer 10, that means we are creating object. But in the third line we are not explicitly construct any object. Okay, so it will automatically construct the object and stored in the integer integer object reference. Okay, that is the int object. Okay, and auto unboxing, what is the, means the reverse process of auto boxing is auto unboxing. In this process what we'll do, means the, which the value of a boxed object is automatically extracted or unboxed, is automatically unboxed from a type of wrapper. That means int, if we thought about the integer class, so from integer to int, okay, means from any object, okay, or any integer is a class in Java. So if we create the integer class object and we and store a value, suppose 10, so 10 is an object of integer. Okay, now if an int variable I stored that value, it will automatically unboxed the object and stored the primitive value to the int variable. Okay, so this is unboxed from the type wrapper when the value is needed. Okay, so there is no need to call method, means there is such method like int value. Okay, for if we use double, then it's double value, float for float it's float value. So like this way we don't need to call any method. Okay, it will automatically convert. So in reverse process I am showing you. So here you can see I is an integer object. Okay, so now if I write here int y equal to I, so this is also possible. So here in this line it's doing auto unboxing, this line it's doing auto unboxing, because I is an object of integer class and I am storing the values of I to a primitive variable y, int y equal to I. So in this line we are performing auto unboxing, and in this line we are performing auto boxing, auto boxing. Okay, so when it is required, basically in case of generics and collection framework, I will explain this later. So there means there is no concept of primitive. Okay, they are not means not using any primitive data, they are only working with the objects. Okay, so in that case this auto boxing and unboxing concept is very useful. Okay, so if you try to store any primitive data type to a collection framework, or you may working with the generics, so in that case you only you means using this concept you can very easily wrap your primitive data to object and store on those framework, means generics or collection framework. Okay, so that I will explain while I will explaining the generics and collection. I will show you how it will use. So here you can see that with auto boxing it is no longer necessary to manually construct an object. Okay, so here you can see that we are directly assigning the primitive value int x equal to 10, and in directly in the integer reference we are assigning that integer. Okay, so it is not means we are not manually construct an object, okay, to wrap a primitive type. Okay, so in whatever required you only need to assign that values to type wrapper reference. Okay, type wrapper reference means here it is a integer reference. Okay, so if you create it for double then it will be double, and if you for float it will be float, and for boolean it will be boolean, like this. Okay, so you can suppose boolean b. Okay, so this is basically boolean b equal to suppose true. So this is primitive type, and once you write boolean b equal to boolean new boolean, and if you pass true, so here it is duplicate variable. Okay, b duplicate. Okay, boolean b equal to true, I already defined here. So boolean suppose object b object. Okay, so here you can see this is the once you start, because class name is start always means in Java class name start with a capital letter. So instead of small b if you write here capital B, then it is a boolean class means object reference. Okay, boolean class reference or object reference, whatever you told. So once you create the object, so this boolean b object, okay, it's pointing to that object, so it's a class reference. Okay, or object reference, whatever you will say. So in that way you can means auto box. So here you can see also in that case we are explicitly create the object. Okay, but for auto boxing, if you use the auto boxing then it is not required. So if you remove this line, and here if you just instead of this you write b, then it is automatically auto box your primitive to that boolean object. Okay, so Java automatically construct the object for you, so it is not required to construct manually or explicitly. Okay, similarly means here we are not using any new operator. Okay, and the same case for auto unboxing. So if you remove this line, and here instead of boolean b if you write this boolean b equal to control x, if you write this line here, and here instead of true if you write that b object. So this is basically boolean object, and we are storing it in boolean primitive type. Okay, so that is also done. So this object, okay, and you can see that as it is a Java built-in class, so here you will get this ready-made method as well. Okay, so boolean value, okay, compared to equals get class has code notify all to string weight, and this weight there is 3 weight method. Okay, with 3 weight method with different argument. Okay, so these ready-made methods are already present. Okay, so if you use this wrapper class object then you will get these facilities. So similarly for int object. Okay, so here Okay, here you can see byte value compared to double, equal, float values, get class, hash code, int values. Okay, so this is basically, if you call this int value, then it will return the primitive type. Okay, so suppose any integer variable int y equal to this. Okay, so that means int int dot get value. So this basically, while you are writing this int uh, y equal to I, or the reverse one means integer, this line integer int object equal to x. Okay, so if you, this line means, once you write this line, and instead of this, if you write like this way, z equal to simply int object in backend. So these two line are similar, because in backend it's also perform the same thing like this. So it will call the int object dot int value. Okay, so it will unwrap the object and only provide you the primitive values. Okay, and that primitive values will store in a primitive data type. Okay, so here also means, these two means, if you write this line and if you write the last line, this line, so basically in backend Java compiler will do this part on behalf of you. So it will call that in value and store it. Okay, so you don't have to write this line. Okay, so this is the facilities of autoboxing. So it is means much easier to write program. Okay, and you have to write less code. Okay, otherwise you have to call the int values, or for boolean you have to call the boolean values. So like that you have to call those methods. Okay, but in case if you use the autoboxing, if you suppose here, if you z is a primitive type, so if you write z dot, okay, so you will not get any default means any built-in method, okay, to operate on this variable. So for primitive there is no such built-in function or method. Okay, but for wrapper class you have all these built-in methods. Okay, so you can directly call those methods, because if you have, as I show you integer class, you can see those are here written here. So if you go through here, you will get all this. So here you can see those methods are present, and whatever code inside this is the long value. Okay, public long value, this is the float value, this is the double value. So you can call those method directly from your code. Okay, collection and generics, then you will means understand why it is required, because those part of Java not support the primitive type. Okay, then everything is supported, there is only object. So if you store primitive to collection, then you have to convert that, and this converting you can done in Java easily using this autoboxing concept. And similarly we are we are familiar with working on primitive data type. So from any values, if we get from collection framework, and if you convert it into primitive type, then we are using this auto unboxing. Okay, so any sorting or any searching operation, you can easily, using this autoboxing and unboxing concept in collection framework, you can easily do it. Okay, so hope it's clear the concept, what is autoboxing and what is autoboxing and why we are using autoboxing and unboxing. Okay, so that's it for today. So thanks for watching this video, and if you like my videos, you can share with your friends, and also you can subscribe my channel. Okay, and in the description box you can see my channel link is there, so you can go there and watch relevant videos with core Java, advanced Java, and web design related topics. So you will get all these videos in my channel. Okay, so thank you.